Dearest Eleanor, the winters here have been ever so cold, without the warmth of your embrace. I fear this may be the end, for year after countless year, I have wasted away in this storage unit, a lonely brick in the wall. Denmark, I long to see my home once more before I wither away from this earth. As the days and months wither on and on, I can feel my form melting back into acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, otherwise known as ABS, the material that is used to make Lego bricks. At this point, I don't even mind if this letter doesn't find you doing well, or find you in the arms of another lover. So much time has passed that my true hope is that this letter simply finds you still alive. It has been so cold. I long for one final embrace. Whether it be your warm, loving arms or the cold, cruel hands of the Creator itself, I know one of those things will one day be proven true. I remember the first day we met when...
Yeah, Mom, I just need to get some stuff out of the storage shed.
Gasp! What is that noise? A voice in the darkness.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny to do another one of those videos just on Bionicles. I'm pretty sure I still have one in the shed.
Can it be salvation? Where am I? What is this place? Am I dead? Or are we all dead?
I wasn't gonna do another one of these. That Metal Gear Solid one? It took me an entire year to dig elbows deep into the muck that is Hideo Kojima's mind. I wasn't gonna put myself through this again. But then, a friend of mine made a joke on Instagram about, hey, I'm waiting for your Bionicle one. And I thought, well, shit. I've played with Bionicles before. I could probably talk about them for like an hour or two, cut it down to 40 minutes and then think it's not funny and cut that down to 20. Pfft. What do you think I am, some kind of amateur? I could do all that shit. And so here I am. I'm gonna talk about Bionicle. If you're watching this, that means I finished this video because it's gonna go one of two ways. Either I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and go, this sucks and not do it, or you'll watch it because it's gonna not suck. So if you've made it this far and you still don't know what Bionicle is, Bionicle is a toy line that was released by Lego from the years 2001 to 2010. It was Lego's first stab at like a thing with a bunch of plot, and it was pretty stupid. It was about these islands and these like mechanical beings that were made of Lego, I think in canon too. But fortunately for me, they made like 4 movies about them. I'll just lay it out here on the line to start. In a world before Guitar Hero, this was my shit as a kid. I had so many of these little things. This was the only one I could find. This is just this one without having to like dig into the storage shed outside my parents' house where I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 more. This is the only one that survived the great Rashid's in high school now purge of all of his toys. I went back through and rewatched all the movies. The 4th movie is still owned by Universal, and those f***ers made me pay for it because it was less work to just pay for it on YouTube than it would have been to find it online. So congrats on getting the $4 out of me as a 26-year-old Bionicle. I don't even know where to start. These movies are simultaneously insanely weird and also kind of like just nothing. They save the day with the power of friendship 4 times over. How the f*** do you want me to talk about that for the next hour? Huh? There's no fun Bionicle themed drinks online. I tried looking for it this morning into something to replace the Ocelot shots that I don't have in this one. And I Googled Bionicle themed drinks and all I found was someone on Google Answers, or like the Lego equivalent of Google Answers, asking if Bionicles drink Mountain Dew. They don't, by the way. The keepers of the lore over at Bionicle have decided that no, the Bionicles don't need caffeine, so that answers that question. Special thanks to whoever put all 3 of the first Bionicle movies online for people to watch on YouTube because Miramax isn't a thing anymore. These things aren't public domain yet. I mean, they just now got to Great Gatsby. If I live long enough for these things to become public domain, you best believe that I will make Bionicle Great Gatsby. If this video accomplishes nothing else, I will use that as a time capsule, so 100 years from now, my grandchildren's grandchildren's, they will make a Bionicle porn. If you're watching this now, and it's 100 years from now, and there's no Bionicle porn that's also a ripoff of The Great Gatsby, then I'm sorry that I failed, and I'm disappointed in all of you. Okay, with that in mind, let's start talking about the first Bionicle movie, shall we? All right, first movie was called Bionicle Mask of Light. It was released on VHS and DVD back in 2003 and based off the 2003... Wow. Based on the 2003 storyline for the toys and the comics and the commercials and the inserts with the toy instructions. They did a poor job telling this story. Okay, so this whole thing takes place on an island called Mata Nui. Mata Nui is both the name of the island they live on and the name of their god. That's like if we lived on an island named Jesus. We don't. Okay, so it's on the island of Mata Nui. It starts with voiceover. All these have voiceover. You're gonna find out that's a character named Taraga Vakama. The Taraga are just like, they're like the village elders. I think the name Taraga is why Lego got sued by the Maori people back in 2002, because Bionicle just used a bunch of Maori names and got in a lot of trouble for it. And then after the lawsuits kind of like went under the rug, they just started using made up names, like just bullshit syllables kind of thrown everywhere. I already told you to buckle up, but put on a second belt. Okay, he says Jesus fucking Christ. He'll say gathered friends a lot. That's how every one of these movies starts, is with him saying gathered friends.
Gathered friends, gathered friends, gathered friends.
As if we're already acquaintances. I don't want to be friends with you. Okay, so there are six Bionicle. Hang on, which notes am I on here? Okay, so the main characters of the 2003 arc and also the Mask of Light movie are the 6 Toa Nuva. If you see any kind of Bionicle iconography in any sort of way, you're probably seeing these 6 characters. We got the fire one. His name is Chevy Tahoe. We got the water one named Girl. We got cold one, the ice guy. We got Leaf, the leaf guy. I was gonna call him Boner, the stone one, but I won't do that. And then we got Potato, the dirt one. They show up piece by piece, almost in like a way where like the audience is maybe supposed to cheer when they show up, because they're the toys you probably already own. They retail for $8 a piece, 2003. So head on down to your local Toys R Us and pick yourself up a Bionicle and a 6-pack. Each set sold separately. Okay, so forget about every character I just mentioned, because the movie starts with these 2 pipsqueaks named Joller and Takua. They're the main characters, and they're exploring some lava, and they argue during the lava, and then they find this mask. All the Bionicles have masks because these toys all needed something collectible that they could sell off on the side. I'm talking about an extended toy commercial. They find this mask that's made of gold that was very hard to find in stores. As soon as they find it, it does the Indiana Jones thing where the lava that surrounds them is like, it raises up, and then Tahoe, the fire one, shows up and saves them by lava surfing. And they've got this cool mask now. Okay, so now they go play Bionicle soccer. And while they're playing Bionicle soccer, the mask falls out of one of their, I don't know which one's which. The mask falls out of Joller's backpack, and everyone, all the Bionicle people, they're called Matoran, by the way. They're just the villagers of the island. All the Matoran are like, oh my God, he brought a cool mask with him. None of us have that. Mom didn't get us the cool gold one for Christmas. What the f, right? They're all very upset at him. And so that's when, oh, I didn't mix that well. Okay, so that's when all the all the Taraga show up, and they're like, you've got the Mask of Light. You need to go and find the 7th Toa Nuva to save the island. By the way, Mata Nui, the island that the god that the island's named after, he's asleep because he's got an evil brother named the Makuta, who's the main villain of the series, and Makuta is upset because Mata Nui is the good guy god and Makuta is the bad guy god. So Makuta puts him to sleep, but not kills him, just like he's asleep now. He just like gives him some Ambien and goes, hey, get some shut-eye, my good brother. And so the Bionicles need to wake him up because it sure sucks when God's asleep. And so they tell him like, hey, you found that mask that'll find the 7th Toa, which I believe retailed for $29.99. Because he had a bike. You find him and we'll be able to stop Makuta. Makuta lives underground, by the way. These Bionicles have like cannons on their arms that shoot big like orbs of power. Like they could go shoot him. They could just go shoot the bad guy with a gun and be done. They don't. They never will. They will never, at no point does a Bionicle look at another Bionicle and go, let's go shoot the bad guy with a gun. I'm solving your problems for you 17 years late. So they go on an adventure around the island, riding on their big dumb crab. They've got a big dumb crab, by the way. Puku the big dumb crab. He's just used for they ride around on him, and he makes like bird noises. Or like mechanical bird noises, because these are all just mechanical things. It's much like the Cars movies, where it's just like robots living among human structures and it's never explained, but you kind of just assume they killed all the humans. Much like the Cars movies. Bionicle is Cars. Okay, so underground, Makuta takes a bunch of snakes, puts the snakes into these bodies, these like metal bodies, and they're called Rakshi, and they go and try and stop the good guys. They retailed for $9 each in 2003. So head on down to your local Walmart and pick yourself up a 6-pack. This guy here's a Rakshi. He was the first Bionicle I owned when I was collecting them as a kid. His arms do this. Wow. Don't you want one of these? Aren't you on the playground jealous that I'm running around with one of these in my sweaty meat hands and you're just sitting there with your dumb like can and stick poking it down the road like it's the Great Depression? Go yourself. Okay, so the Rakshi go up to the surface and they destroy the fire town, because all the towns in the island are like separated and they're like, oh, here's the fire town where the fire Bionicle is protector, and here's the water town where the water Bionicle is protector. And in the midst of that, Tahoe, he gets scratched by the bad guys and they poison him. And so he starts to turn into an asshole because of poison. He was already an asshole early on. They established that, you know, he's a hothead because he's the Red Ranger. Okay, so now Takua and Jala are in the forest and they get attacked by a Bionicle bear. And then the green Bionicle Leaf, he shows up and he stops the bear and he talks in like backwards Yoda tongue.
Walk? Ha! Not never. If you ride with me, there'll be no foot walking, just air flying.
And then he yells, wind flies, and flies on the wind.
Wind flies!
So now they're in the ice, and some more Rakshi show up, and then the ice Bionicle, cold one, he freezes them, but it does the thing where like it zooms in on the Rakshi's hand while it's frozen. Okay, so now they're underground in a mountain. Like I said, they're just traveling. It's an adventure movie. All the Bionicles that live in the mountain are excited to see him because, oh goddamn, the good guys. This is my jam. And while that's happening, Takua kind of wanders away and Makuta shows up like as just like a disembodied voice and starts talking to him in his head. And he's like, hey, I'm the evil bad guy Makuta. If you keep doing this, it's gonna kill all your friends and you'll be sad and die. And so Takua goes, wait, that's bad. I don't want my friends to, I don't want this, I don't want bad things. And so he decides to stop adventuring. It's so sad. They have this moment where like, where the two Bionicles are looking at each other and they almost kiss. Listen, in the movie the Bionicles didn't kiss, but when I owned these toys as a kid, the Bionicles kissed. Bionicle is Call Me By Your Name. Okay, so then some more Rakshi show up on the mountain, and then all 6 of the Toa show up, and they stop the Rakshi. But at this point, because Tahu got evil poisoned, he's such an asshole that they decide to have a Tahu exorcism. They got a whole scene where like he's splayed out on like a piece of rock. They take the poison out of him and then he's no longer an asshole. That's all it takes, friends. Do you have someone in your life who's an asshole? Put them on a rock and just have them vomit out poison. And suddenly everyone's friends with their stepdad. Thanks, Bionicle. Okay, so later on, Jollar is traveling by himself because Takua left, and he looks up and starts praying to God to help him. And in response, God pushes him off a mountain. But it's okay because Takua shows back up with his crab and goes, hey, I changed my mind. Let's adventure some more. And then they keep adventuring. Isn't it fun? Okay, so now they're at like this big temple in the middle of the island, I guess. All the Rakshi show up, but then all the Toa show up. It's very end of Rise of Skywalker of them. Bionicle is Star Wars. And then all the Rakshi fight all the Toa. The Rakshi get killed off, but they kill Jollar, and Takua is very sad. Jollar dying convinces him to go, wait a minute, I should put this mask on and see what happens. Okay, so when he put the mask on, So when he puts the mask on, he finds out that he is the Toa of Light, named Takanuva. I owned Takanuva, and I really thought I still had Takanuva in storage to have on this table because Takanuva was my favorite Bionicle as a kid. He had this cool speeder bike, and like the legs flipped on it. It was really cool. Well, it was really cool when you were 8. I'm sure if I looked at it now, I'd go, ugh. So he finds out that he had the hero within him all along. Barf. Okay, so that bike I've been talking about, he builds it, I guess, out of like the brain, like these are the rock sheep. You can't see it on the shot. They got these little worm things that live inside of them. And so I guess when they kill all the rock sheep, he builds that thing out of the worms. I don't remember that, but I guess they gut the bad guys and use their innards to build a land speeder. And he goes underground to fight Makuta. And when they're down there, they play Bionicle soccer again. Remember the Bionicle soccer from the beginning? Don't worry, they pay off that Chekhov's gun. They fire that bullet straight into Soccer Town, and then everyone's got Bionicle soccer emojis on Twitter, and they're yelling at the Fall Guys account. Yeah. After that, literally everyone on the island shows up for some fucking reason. Except this was made by like an animation studio of like 4 people. They got paid in Cheetos, I must assume, because like it's like 3 character models that just get used over and over again. Like whenever you see a crowd shot, it's like the same 4 Bionicles that are just copied and pasted. It's better than I can do, but that's because I don't have any money or animation studio equipment or talent. And then Makuta and Takanuva fall into goo. All of the goo, like water shit in this universe, is called protodermis. Okay, so they emerge from the protodermis and they're one thing. They're just a big being. And that's because if you bought both Makuta and Takanuva, you could take the pieces from them and combine them into one larger Bionicle. I owned both, so believe me, I did that. And then they open this big door that's nearby. That's, the door looks like look, listen, there's a look that is just generic Bionicle mask, and I'm sure you've seen enough memes to know what I'm talking about, because it's the mask from the red Bionicle in the 2001 line. That's what the door looks like. Okay, so they open the door, and then everyone like starts running in. I don't know why everyone feels the need to like, I don't know, maybe that's where they're keeping the rest of the PlayStation 5s. I don't know. So everyone and their mother runs in through this door. What am I talking about? Okay, so Kudanuva's holding the door up, and then there's a girl, Matoran. Her name's Holly. I forgot to mention her at the beginning because she's not part of the plot. In the movies, at least. I think later on in like the actual Bionicle lore, she becomes crazy important. But she's holding on to Jollar's mask because she was love interest for Jollar, and Jollar's dead. Kudanuva is like, hey, wait a minute, stop, hold up. I can do literally anything because I am 2 gods shoved together into one terrifying being that costs your parents $55 to get to make, circa 2003. And so they put the mask down on the ground and he just holds his hand over it and then just like revives Jollar. And then the door crushes him, and instead of there being a smoldering Bionicle corpse, the mask of light just kind of like rolls over like a disco ball, like a hockey puck. And they're in this room now with a big circle on the ground, and they put the mask down on it and they go, this will awaken Matanui, the god. And so then all 6 of the Turaga hold hands and a bunch of beams of light happen, and Matanui is awakened. We did it, boys. Takanuva's just okay. Then the voiceover makes like an offhand reference to like their old home being rediscovered, and that's the end of Bionicle 1, and it dovetails pretty great into Bionicle 2. So let's get into Bionicle 2.